afternoon and welcome to the Bay Area for a huge game in the ACC as Boston College makes the cross-country trip to Maples Pavilion to take on a Stanford team playing with some confidence. The Cardinal 21-point winners over Syracuse on Thursday, and that was important. When you get to the ACC standings, we show the top 16 in the 18-team league. The top 15 make the tournament. Miami right now, they lost earlier today. They're the last team in. Pitt lost earlier today to Virginia as the Cavaliers broke their tie with Stanford. You see Boston College and Stanford in the bottom half of the league as well. Well, hello everybody, along with former collegiate head coach Dr. Joaquin Wallace. My name is Tim Swartz, and hey, it's All-Star Weekend in the Bay Area, and both these teams have some stars. We'll start out with Stanford. Chloe Clardy, 12 assists, no turnovers, and that win over Syracuse on Thursday.
And she put a lot of work in the summer as well, averaging 11 points a game. She's scoring at 4 levels, so hopefully she can continue that effort tonight. This is going to be a big game for Stanford if they have any hopes to get into the postseason.
And Chloe Clardy's been excellent as the point guard of the Cardinal. On the other side, Boston College, they don't have the best, one of the best three-point shooters in the country. They have the best in Tiana Todd.
Yeah, she's shooting better from behind the arc, over 50%, 39% inside the arc. Stanford will need to identify her. She's leading her team in scoring at 17 points a game, and she's scoring at 4 levels as well. This is going to be a battle of point guards this afternoon.
All right, so Todd is a player to watch. She had an excellent game for BC at Haas Pavilion, scoring 24 against the Cal Bears. BC was sunk by a 16-0 run between the second and third quarters by Cal. And, well, for both these teams, we kind of set it up. The winner of this game is in very good position to make the ACC tournament. Just the top 15 of 18 make it as the lineups and teams are ready. There you see Todd, the Canadian from Ontario. Tip is controlled by BC. Their same lineup as last time out. Ivy, Daly, Wagner, Todd, and Sidbury. For Stanford, it's their same lineup. Ijiwoye, Clardy, Bascana, Dimitri, and Stevenson. The big news for Stanford, though, Coach, they'll have Nunu Aguera available off the bench tonight.
Yeah, she's one of the top scorers in the ACC. They're going to need her effort, but right off the bat, Todd gets untracked early. First basket of the game.
Nunu Aguera, the leading scorer, the leading rebounder, leader in blocks for Stanford, has not been available the last couple games. She took a hard fall at Notre Dame and really hasn't played the last 3 games. Backdoor cut, Bascani left the layup is too strong.
And that's one area that the Eagles will need to defend, the split action that they run out of the Princeton series. And there's Todd again, 0 for 1 so far, but she likes to stretch the defense playing from behind the arc. Stanford will need to identify her. She's 1 for 2 so far.
Stevenson's third start at Stanford. She made over 30 last year for Purdue. Corner 3 is good for Dimitri, coming off of her best game in a while, had 14 and 9, and had an 11-point first quarter against Syracuse.
And that's what Stanford does. When they run the split action, that diagonal pass is always open, so you have to be able to identify that defensively, understand where the shot's coming from.
Daly could not get it to go underneath.
And Tim, the Eagles are one of the better teams in terms of negating the three-point shot. Stanford jumped off right off the top with a 3-ball that bodes well for the Cardinal.
Ijiwoye, corner 3 on the way, rims out. Defensive rebound for Sidbury, who faced off against Stanford last year when she was with the Utah Utes.
That's the same offense they ran again. Ijiwoye was not able to knock it down, but you notice it was wide open. That's an offensive foul for Todd.
Michelle Ijiwoye, freshman from Phoenix, Arizona, has started the last 11 games. She was, kind of has that football player mentality. Last game, she was chopping it up after the game with Donovan McNabb, who was here to watch his daughter who plays for Syracuse, and they grew up playing AAU ball together. Clardy, nice feed for Stevenson, extra pass. Ijiwoye, down the lane, lefty layup short. Offensive rebound, and again it's Dimitri.
And this is where Stanford has an advantage, as the Eagles are at the bottom of the league in terms of defensive rebounds. So Stanford has their vertical spacers down low. They should be able to take advantage of their height.
Yeah, Joanna Burnaby-McNamee, the head coach of Boston College, said rebounding killed us at Cal. They were minus 12 against the Golden Bears. Strong take. Wagner, no good. Defensive rebound for Stevenson. Clardy pushing the pace. Bascana, 3 in the corner, rims in.
Boscana was able to left corner pocket, 10 toes behind the line. Nice job by Clardy to get active early, push the tempo. Boscana was able to knock it down.
Spin move in the lane, blocked away by Dimitri, denying Sidbury.
And this is where Stanford has the advantage. The half-court defense, with their vertical spacers down low, it's going to give the Eagles all kinds of trouble. Boston College needs to play in space, play fast, extend the basketball, not allow Stanford to set up their half-court defense.
Clardy steps into a three, off. Rebound to Daly, the Miami, Florida native. Talking to Kay Pay before this game, Stanford, it was their first kind of, you don't want to say easy, but a game where the result wasn't in doubt in the last 2 or 3 minutes since Thanksgiving against UC San Diego, as they beat Syracuse, and no doubt, Kay Pay said without a doubt, it was the best game that they had played in ACC play, as Ijiwoye commits a foul. The main thing, Coach, she really liked was the pace.
And you can see here's the foul. Guess what? The Eagles are running the same set that Stanford is running. A little split action from the pinch post area. Stanford should know that play. Ijiwoye got caught up in that one with a foul.
Yeah, Ijiwoye gets her first personal. First time in for Tess Hill, double figures 3 straight games. Shooting 51% from deep, had 17 points on 5 of 8 shooting against Syracuse. And then Courtney Ogden got 17 minutes off the bench for the McDonald's All-American. Second year at Stanford, hails from Atlanta.
Almost a 5-second count. Safety valve was able to get it out before the 5 second. Don't like to have those type of turnovers. There's a split action again. Same action as Stanford runs.
Njai, first time she's in. The sophomore from Senegal, and a lucky bounce to Todd, who lays it up and in.
Todd's always around the basketball. Good things happen when you hustle. It's their second bucket of the game.
First time in for Athena Tomlinson, 5'5" freshman from Fresno. Lots of friends and family here to watch Athena tonight.
Stanford 8, Todd 4 so far early in the first quarter.
Stevenson, great pass. Ogden, confident three, got it! Courtney Ogden, 4 points a game, and there's 3 right there. Stanford leads by 7 early on. Sidbury blocked out a play by Dimitri.
So again, Stanford was able to use the same split action. That diagonal pass from the opposite pinch post is always there. As Garrett now should check in on the top scorers in the ACC in terms of scoring and rebounding as well. And Stanford definitely missed her.
She's been in double figures every game, but the Texas San Antonio game and in the game against Notre Dame where she got hurt in the first quarter. Steele. Clardy looking to push.
Clardy did a great job. The live ball turnover. Nice hustle in the back end for the Eagles.
First year at Stanford for Tess Hill. Stolen away as Tomlinson. Todd, strong take, and she gets it with the foul. Tiana Todd, as advertised so far, she's got all 6 for BC.
And you know that Todd was going to come out and get activated. You know, there's 3 levels of scoring, Tim. You know, I say simmering, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, percolating, and then activated 28 points on. So she's simmering right now.
Well, it's a really special game for Athena Tomlinson. It's her first time coming to the Bay Area. A bunch of friends and family at Cal, some here as well, making about the 2.5-hour drive from Fresno. And she grew up going to Kobe Bryant camps, and Kobe gave her the nickname Shifty Lefty. It says it's a very special. Heel, down low, over Tomlinson with the left hand.
That's a great job by Hill. You have to come out and convert defensively. That's a live ball turnover.
Clardy all the way down with contact, got under the foul.
Stanford playing fast, getting out in transition. Nice layup by Clardy. You can see it right here. Clardy with the layup as Stanford with the 15-6 lead after the timeout.
(15-6) lead for Stanford. They're 3 of 5 from deep early on. Dr. Wallace, why is that?
Because I love the split action that Stanford runs. Let's take a look at it right. Here's the first 3 they have right here. Here's the pinch post. Here's the sacrifice cut. This is the action right here. But look in the right corner. Demetri is wide open. Confusion on the defensive end. That's the first three ball. 10 toes behind the line. They come right back to it again. You see the confusion. That's where all the action at. That's the sacrifice cut. And you see Demetri going through this time. Now, Ogden says, you know what? I'm wide open. 10 toes behind the line. Take that. You didn't read the scouting report.
Yeah, the split action, you'll hear that all the time up in San Francisco at Chase Center with the Golden State Warriors. They'll have the All-Star game later today. Chloe Clardy has had an incredible sophomore year. 12 assists, no turnovers last time out. And she makes the free throw to complete the three-point play. Already a 10-point lead for Stanford.
Yeah, Stanford is on fire early. Now you have Aguirre back in the game. One of the top scorers in the conference as well. One of the rebounders.
Long three for Ivy, knocks it down. The fifth-year senior, speaking of an assist, she had 16, a school record earlier on this year against Miami.
It's a much-needed basket for the Eagles. Ivy was able to line it up and knock it down. Cut the lead to 7.
Thursday, Stanford had a 27-point first quarter, which really set the tone against Syracuse. Lascana, nice pass for Stevenson, who got ran into the back. And that one's deflected out of play, just 8 on the shot clock.
Yeah, Boscana was able to use the snake dribble to get inside the painted area. See Stevenson there, but hands on the ball, was able to knock it out of bounds. Stanford with 8 seconds left on the shot clock.
Third straight start for Mary Ashley Stevenson. Purdue transfer, replacing this woman, Nunu Aguirre. Her first shot after the injury at Notre Dame is off. Boscana fighting for the rebounds, and they're going to call it jump ball. It stays with Stanford. Nice hustle from Elena.
Anytime you have the 50-50 basketball, that bodes well. Keep the possession on the end of the floor for the Cardinal. 20 seconds left on the shot clock. See if they run out of bounds. Plenty of time remaining here. 4:05 in the first period. 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Dr. Wallace, we were talking before the game. You think the pace of this game will tell the story?
Yeah, absolutely. Boston College want to play it faster. They do not want Stanford to set their half-court defense because the length inside, Stanford will dictate the pace.
Savannah Samuel, first time in for one of the backup bigs for Boston College. Demetri, fadeaway. Oh, that's smooth.
And that's an outstanding play. A two-man game with Demetri scoring inside and outside, showing her tools in the toolbox.
Njai, too strong. Tipped rebound, out of play to Stanford. Now look, Demetri, this is kind of her sweet spot. She loves the baseline mid-range fadeaway.
She catch nice footwork to Nabisky. One-legged shot, is able to knock it down. Again, outside, she knocked down her first shot. From behind the arc, she comes right inside, said, Coach, I can shoot it here as well.
And came out against Syracuse with an 11-point first quarter. And she's got 7 to lead all scorers already. 9-point lead for Stanford. Both these teams' #1 goal right now is make the ACC tournament. Tipped pass, and Ivy ends up with it.
Nice deflection play around the post player.
Sidbury off from 3. Lascana, her 4th rebound already.
So far, so good for Stanford defensively. 4 field goals in their last 5 possessions.
Lascana coming off of a double-double. He's had 10 or more rebounds in 3 straight games. Back to Demetri Heel, shooting 51% from deep, a rare miss. Clardy in the backcourt, almost stole it away.
Nice job by Clardy playing behind, and point guard Ivy did not see her. Almost had another live ball turnover in the backcourt.
Kayla Ivy, she's an extension of her head coach, Joanna Burnaby McNamee, one of the best assisters in the history of college basketball. 3, good with the foul. Samuel a chance at a 4-point play.
So again, the Eagles are giving Stanford their own medicine, running the same action. Opportunity for the old-fashioned 3. Now we have a 4-point play. So here's the shot right here. The split action, she was able to step back. Confusion for Stanford, was able to knock it down.
Savannah Samuel, 10 points in 18 minutes at Cal last time out. Started her career 19 games during the 2021 year at Oregon State, the year Stanford won the national championship. 2 years at West Virginia. She sat out last year because of transfer rules. This is her first year playing for Boston College. She kicks the ball there.
It's a huge 3, 4-point play. For the Eagles, now they're down by 5.
And I mentioned Joaquin Wallace, Dr. Wallace, you have a doctorate. At this point, to figure out transfer rules, eligibility, you pretty much need a PhD.
I would agree with that. And I am still confused on it, yeah.
And the waiver came out about halfway through the year last year for Samuel, so there's only about 10 games left, and they decided to just have her sit out the whole year. Dimitri on fire! It's a 9-point, 4-for-4 first quarter for Brooke.
Dimitri again, the Nabisky one-legged shot. Another offensive rebound, second chance opportunities Stanford has been converting so far.
Daly, an extra step as she lays it up and down.
This is a nice step through, came to a jump stop, step through over a left shoulder, kissed it off the window.
BC going into a zone. Stevenson, great passer for a big. Ijiwoye, Ascana, backs it up. Dimitri too strong. Stevenson the offensive rebound. Power move, bank shot, rims out.
And this is where Stanford again has the advantage inside, was not able to convert.
Ivy pulls up, 3 on the way. Cans it. Kayla Ivy averaging about 4 points a game, has 6 in the first quarter, and BC's cut it to 2.
As I mentioned, BC want to play fast, do not allow Stanford to get out and set their defense. Extend the basketball. Ivy was able to knock it down. Now BC is showing different defense here, a zone defense, a little 1-1-3 matchup. And you can see Stanford is confused offensively.
And Ijiwoye goes right to the hoop, and that was challenged by Wagner, an all-defensive member of the ACC. She affected that shot. They leave wide open. Samuel 3 is good, and BC has taken the lead, 21-20.
And that's what happens when you switch defenses. You try to steal possessions.
BC run a bunch of different defenses. They ran basically all player on player against Cal. They'll run some zone as well.
And what Stanford has to realize is that in the zone defense, they can still run their man offense, but you can see they're confused. There's the walk-up 3 by Ivy. And here's the other 3 as well. Reverse the basketball, lines it up 10 toes behind the line, knocks that down. Takes the first lead of the game for the Eagles.
7 points in 6 minutes for Samuel. Aguera, power move, offensive foul.
So if you take a look, Tim, what's happening right now, here it is. Let's take a look at this foul. Aguera gets inside, nice position. Was able to get her feet outside the smiley face. Easy call for the official, but the confusion you see with Stanford so far, 12-2 run over the last 2 minutes and 14 seconds since they went to the zone defense.
And Kate Pay, first year as the head coach, very experienced at Stanford, assistant since 2007. Was part of a couple of Final Four teams as a player here at Stanford. Ivy against Clardy. That's one of the big matchups tonight. Daly with 8 seconds. Ivy, the Maryland native. Back for Todd. The Canadian step back, foot on the line jumpers off. And an entertaining first quarter of play. Boston College was down by as many as 10, but a 12-2 run from the Eagles gives them the lead. 21-20 over Stanford. It's a big one in the ACC. We'll be back for the second quarter after this on ACC Network. When we talked to these coaches, both of them were talking rebounding, and then Coach Mack at BC said that's why they lost to Cal. They held Cal to 5 of 24 from deep, but they lost that game by 9 because they were minus 12 rebounding. They're the worst rebounding team defensively in the ACC. But for Boston College, so far so good. They're just minus 1 in terms of rebounding, pretty even.
Yeah, they're minus 1, but where they're losing at is second chance opportunities, a minus 4. So they have to do a better job of controlling the glass and not allowing second chance opportunities.
Now Stanford at one point led 16-6 in the first quarter. BC had a 12-2 spurt to end the quarter, and they lead by 1 as foul called on the screen. And it's against Stanford. That's the first foul 15 seconds into the second.
Yeah, the Eagles did a great job of switching their defense to a 1-1-3 matchup zone and confused Stanford. They went on that huge run in the quarter to take their first lead, 21-20.
Chloe Clardy called for the foul. That's her first. Todd, 6 points on 2 threes in the first quarter of play. Wagner, tough 2 points.
Wagner was able to use her quickness to get to the baseline.
Boston College has increased the intensity on defense.
Nice job by Todd. Outside hand technique. Was able to make a deflection.
This is what Stanford missed, and she couldn't get the offensive board to go in. Todd had on a swivel. One of the best in terms of passing in the ACC, over 5 assists per game, and she makes the long 2.
Ivy is playing well so far. Walk up 2 inside the 3-point line. Knocked down a couple of threes as well.
Ivy wants to push. 109th game for BC. Great time all the way down. Wagner gets it to go. Timeout Stanford.
And that's one thing that we talked about. The Eagles want to make sure that they play fast, extend the basketball. They was able to get out in front.
An extended 21-4 run for the Eagles has them up by 7. Now BC on an 18-2 run. They've taken a 7-point lead over Stanford. The Eagles led by Joanna Burnaby-McNamee, her 7th year in charge. 9.5 assists per game is what she averaged in college. That's still the NCAA record. 2020, that was a school record, 11 ACC wins, their best finish at 4th. And talking to her before the game, she took 5 years off of coaching to raise her 2 boys that are 17 and 18, born 11 months apart. She said it was the happiest 5 years of her life, and she's really excited to be back in coaching, but she loved taking that time off. Clardy in the corner, 3, too strong. Stevenson fighting for the rebound and ends up being thrown to the sidelines and saved by Ivy of Boston College.
But the Eagles have to be pleased since employing the 1-1-3 matchup zone, which actually turns into an amoeba defense as well, confusing Stanford offensively. 1 shot now for the Cardinals. Tim, we talked about it before the game. The Eagles will need to play fast, do not allow the Cardinals to set up their half-court defense. One way to do that is to be able to score. If Boscana goes down and scores, he's able to penetrate, he's able to use the window. So far, so good for the Eagles.
Wagner was called for that foul. That was her first team foul. Into the corner for Sidbury. Drives the baseline on Dimitri. They'll reset to Ivy. 8 points and 2 assists already for the 5th-year senior.
Knocked down a couple of 3 balls, extending the defense.
Tipped pass, long 2-point shot, off, but the offensive rebound for Sidbury. She'll take a 3, it's off.
Sidbury probably should have ran that offense to allow them to get something better than just the 3-point shot.
We got a lot of great students out there, and Sidbury's pre-med. Her day starts before 9 a.m. and it usually doesn't end with workouts and everything till after 9 p.m. Boscana drives to the lane, lefty layups in for Elena, back-to-back layups, and she's got 7.
She's able to get to a strong hand on both sides.
Well, it was a 21-4 extended run to end the first, to start the second for Boston College, and then back-to-back Boscana layups have cut the lead to 3.
Tim, timeouts are equally as important. Coach Bay did a great job of changing the momentum. The Eagles won a 6-0 run coming into the second quarter.
Sidbury looking for some help, and a travel.
Take a look here. Boscana again using her strong hand, getting the defender off the dribble, back to back. Here's the second one, goes right to left. The second side was able to finish.
Boscana has had some monster games for Stanford. She had a 10-for-10 game against UC San Diego. Lefty, 6'2", from Greece. Heel steps into an open 3. Kansas. Tess Heel's hot 3-point shooting continues.
Heel was able to find the area in the zone that was vacated. Was able to walk in and knock down the 3 ball.
Rattles home for Daly.
You see, one pass, they moving the basketball efficiently. Daly was able to walk in, knock down the mid-range shot.
She's played 107 games for Boston College. Ball's thrown away for a moment, then tipped out of play last off of Daly.
Yeah, Stevenson, a face cut, was knocked out of bounds. You see here, there's a walk-up free throw line shot.
And Dr. Wallace, when you were coaching up at SF State, how nice was it to have players like a Daly, like an Ivy, as Heel knocks that shot down, but the players who have played in more than 100 games and have that experience.
The experience is huge, especially at the collegiate level. Nice step through the Euro step by Sidbury, finish over the front of the rim.
Pascana, long three, is off. Flaherty with the rebound.
Second chance opportunity. Talked about it. Stanford has an advantage. The vertical spacers down low.
Flaherty steps into an open three and swishes it through.
And now it's a barrage of threes by both teams. 9 threes total for both. 4 for 9 for the Eagles, 5 for 10, 50%.
And shockingly, that woman, Tiana Todd, hasn't made one of the threes, the NCAA's leader in terms of three-point percentage. That was not on purpose, but a little bit dangerous there from Daly, who just ran into the leg of Heel. She's called for her first.
Nice pass here. Cardi again, knocking it down from behind the arc. Mentioned earlier, highlighted at the top of the telecast, she's scoring at 4 levels this season. A lot of work she put in the summer with her dad.
Her dad is a football and track coach. Her sister's a basketball coach. And really, one person that helped her a lot was Jeanette Poland, the All-American assistant coach for Stanford, 2011 first-team All-American. And Jeanette was telling me before the game, mostly it's been about watching film, seeing things that Chloe does well, and reminding her, hey, you're a great player. Here are the things that you do well. And we saw it come to fruition against Syracuse. 12 assists, no turnovers. One of 4 Stanford players to have more than 10 assists and no turnovers. And one of them, Jeanette Poland herself.
Yeah, typically your biggest leap is going to happen between your first and second season. Depends how much work you put into the off season. You see it bodes well for Flaherty because she's definitely is paying dividends for her this season.
Tatum Green called for the foul, 6'3" freshman from Baltimore. It's her first time in the game, 3 fouls against Boston College. This game is being played, Dr. Wallace, at a torrid pace.
Yeah, both teams are playing fast, trying not to allow the defense to set. Stanford struggles when BC goes their 1-1-3 matchup, and BC struggles when Stanford plays in the half-court set.
And Clardy had to throw that off the foot of Sidbury, very heads up, because if she doesn't, that would have been a 5-second call.
Yes, 12 areas on the floor that you want to trap in, usually on the hash marks. You use the hash mark as a defender as well as the sideline.
Just 4 on the shot clock. Stevenson to Boscana, backdoor cut. Stevenson beats the clock. No. They're going to say it was a shot clock violation. That was Tyler Trimble making the call. We'll get another look at it. I thought she just got it off.
Let's see here. Let's see if the light someone's still in her hands. And I would agree that is a shot clock violation. The ball was still in her hand.
Anthony Robinson, Jeff Wooten, the 3-person crew. Nice call there. That's my last time questioning an official. Corner 3, swishes through for shifty lefty. Tomlinson's first bucket. And Tomlinson was a team best +8 in the plus-minus in 16 minutes at Haas Pavilion on Thursday. Boscana threw it to a ghost. A player was there. And again, that zone from BC disrupting Stanford.
Yeah, the 1-1-3 matchup zone puts pressure on you at the top. So what Stanford needs to run is like a 2-guard front to distort the zone.
Boscana picks up her first personal, second team foul. Breather for Elena.
So one way to get around the 1-1-3, you can screen the top of the zone, turns into a man-to-man, or you can run some horns action.
And Tomlinson throws that untouched out of play, so Stanford win down at the place where she threw it in.
Those unforced turnovers is what drive coaches crazy. You have to be able to get the ball inbounds. It's something you work on consistently, having consistency there.
You don't believe me that drives a coach crazy. Look at a picture of Dr. Wallace before and after he started coaching. That hair went away.
Absolutely.
Heel to Stevenson. Dimitri catch, fire, three again! Brooke Dimitri is locked in.
Dimitri is finding the soft spots. He's able to walk in, line it up, and knock it down. She's been money so far this afternoon. They needed all of her points. Stanford now with 1 point lead.
12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 blocks, 5 of 7 shooting for the senior from SoCal. 3 in the corner, the response triple from Tatum Green.
Both teams are starting to percolate from behind the arc.
Mom Chanel, played in the WNBA, was the 1996 ACC Freshman of the Year at North Carolina.
Both teams have made 5 threes. Again, there's the area on the floor. It's 12 areas.
Heel, 3, he rims out. Even the ones that don't go down for Tess Heel look like they're going in. Tomlinson pushes. Sidbury through the middle of the lane. Nice catch. Daly tipped away. Ogden keeps it alive.
Ogden with a great job of high hands on the defensive end to create the live ball turnover. You have to credit the Eagles, get back on defense.
Both teams are just shooting the lights out. Stanford 6 of their last 8. BC 4 of their last 5. The turnovers have been an issue. That's the 6th against the Cardinal. No, they're going to call a foul.
Dimitri was held on the entry pass from Ogden, the diagonal pass. Ogden thought she had a turnover, but the official said, no, you didn't. Dimitri was held inside.
And Green gets called for her second foul. Stanford will be in the bonus, the final 2:31 of the second quarter of play.
If you're BC, you have to be pleased so far after starting slow. A 2-point lead.
Heel, left open. She'll take the 3, and she'll make it.
You see the head coach at Boston College with her hands in the air saying, why did we not get out? I'm sure that's something they talked about. You have to guard Heel, recognize, stay connected.
4 straight game in double figures for Tess Heel. Stanford retakes the lead by 1. Sidbury high bank shot off. Offensive rebound out for Daly, and then it's deflected out of play. Now, if there's one player on Stanford you really have to guard from beyond the arc, it's Tess Heel.
In particular, when taking the ball out of bounds, you want to make sure you stay locked in. It was in a zone defense. It looks as though they was playing a zone on the baseline out of bounds play. Heel was able to get untracked.
Well, how about this? Tess Heel, 2 years at Santa Clara, shot 31% from deep. This year she's over 50%. She went home to Australia and she worked her tail off on her shot. Offensive foul drawn by Ijiwoye. But Coach, we've talked about Chloe Clardy, Tess Heel, improvements. You know, you lose these players for the summer and you hope they come back with something extra.
Yeah, here's the pass in the grass as well for the foul. Ijiwoye did a great job of getting her feet outside the smiley face. Turnover for BC. Stanford with a 1-point lead. Minute 59 remaining in the half.
See Chloe Clardy really changed her shot. She had kind of a swinging motion. Now it's much simpler. Kate Hay saw her for the first time in Stanford and said, ooh, that's nice. She saw her throwing up some shots. Her first workouts on the farm after going home to Arkansas, the first ever Stanford player from the state of Arkansas. Lascana, spin move, goes to her left, and gets the roll.
Great job by Lascana to recognize where the sweet spot was at in the zone.
Dimitri, defensive rebounds. Stanford looking to push.
Stanford trying to get out ahead, not allow the Eagles to set that defense.
Dimitri, offensive rebounds.
Second chance opportunity.
Ivy ends up with the deflection. Daly to the hoop. Blocked away by Dimitri. Her 3rd block already.
And that's a nice play. Dimitri's playing on both sides of the basketball. As you mentioned, 3 blocks. They had to get back defensively. The long arm of the law says, no, not here tonight. Get that out of here.
Now Brooke looking like her good friend, Cameron Brink, the all-time leader in terms of blocks in Stanford history. All alone, Pascana layup lines in.
Nice job by Garrett to recognize on the overplay. Pass went into the pinch post. She just turned, found her teammate for the easy basket.
Pascana 11, Dimitri 12, the senior leaders for Stanford stepping up, and it's a 5-point lead for the Cardinal, a 7-0 run in 100 seconds. Wagner, no good. Tipped rebound. And they're going to call a foul against the Cardinal. It's against Aguera, and that's her second.
So here it is. Here's a little give and go right here. Overplay of the pinch post. Goes right to the basket. No one picked up. The helper was not there. Was able to convert with an easy basket.
You know what I love there? The bounce pass from Nunu Aguera.
And did it with confidence as well. Recognized, didn't rush, as you mentioned earlier. Took her time. Nice little bounce pass. She was able to finish.
Her first game in about 10 days. She wasn't in the starting lineup because she hasn't fully practiced yet. She went through drills yesterday, so she might be on a minutes restriction tonight.
Yeah, your fitness level, get back in basketball shape. Don't want her to get injured. Ain't no soft tissue injuries.
Ivy running the point. Bounces it to Daly. Against Stevenson. Blocked away by Dimitri. Again. And that's a shot clock violation.
And we talked about the size of Stanford inside the painted area, the vertical spaces. Dimitri again showing her length.
Now here's good situational awareness, Coach. 4.9 seconds left, and Stanford up by 5. But you want to get a good look here if you're the Cardinal.
And you have to remind your team you can't foul, because the next foul they'll be shooting free throws.
Nice defense from the BC Eagles, but Stanford shoots 50% from the field. They shoot 50% from deep. They led by as many as 10. It's a 5-point lead for the Stanford Cardinal, behind 12 from Brooke Dimitri, 11 from Elena Boscana. Leading the way for Stanford. Cardinal looking for a sweep here at home in the ACC, up by 5 at the half. Tara Vanderveer amongst those in attendance at Tara Vanderveer Court for the first ever ACC game between Stanford and Boston College. 5-point lead for the Cardinal at the break. Well, it was a back and forth first half here with Joaquin Wallace, Tim Swartz. What was the difference? Why is Stanford up by 5?
Well, we talked about it. You look at the stats. Stanford is +7 in terms of second chance opportunities. We knew Stanford had an advantage in terms of the vertical spacers down low, so they're getting a lot of second chance opportunities. You can't have that, as well as points off of turnovers. They're +11 on points on turnovers. So listen, if I'm Coach Mack, I'm saying we have to make the first pass, which is the most important pass in basketball.
Boston College, they are 6 from 12 from deep, and that split action, Coach Wallace, is really helped them out.
Yeah, you take a look at it. It's the same type of action that Stanford is running. It's like a mirror image of one. So you take a look right here. The pass is coming in. Here's the initiation. Right here. Here's a split. So now you have the confusion. There's the open 3 ball. She was able to knock that shot down as well. Stanford has been doing this against Boston College. Boston College said, you know what? We're going to play the same game against you as well for the 4-point opportunity. Same action again. But no, the split action wasn't there. Here's the screen roll. Stop it right here. You see where Clardy is looking at the basketball. She needed to be moving to the direction of the pass. She was late on the closeout, and guess what? 10 toes behind the line, the 3 ball for the lefty. That's the action. They're running the same action against Stanford as Stanford is running against them.
Tess Hill, 8 points in the second half alone. She has been cooking.
Yeah, she's one of the most dynamic 3-point shooters that Stanford has. I'm sure Coach Max said, hey, we have to identify her. That's a nice job with the relocation dribble. But this is the one I'm sure Coach Mack is going to talk about at halftime. We can't allow the in-ball, the person that in-balling the pass, in passing, to get the basketball and score. You have to recognize where she's at all times.
Now, Tess Hill, 51% coming into today, 2 of 4 from deep. BC is 6 for 12, and Tiana Todd, who is the #1 3-point shooter in the country, has not made a 3 yet. This first half, Coach, was really played at just a torrid pace.
Yeah, the pace was fast, and like we said earlier, for the success for the Eagles, they have to play fast in transition. They have to extend the basketball. When they're able to do that, they're able to score. Once Stanford sets their half-court defense, that's where they struggle. And what it does when they're able to score, they're able to set their half-court defense, which is a 1-1-3, where Stanford was struggling to figure out the pockets in that 1-1-3 matchup of defense.
Well, a reminder, Stanford came into this game 4-9 in the ACC. Boston College 4 of 10. There's 18 teams in the league. They added Stanford, SMU, and Cal, and the coaches decided to keep it at 15 teams making the ACC tournament. So the winner of this game is very much has 1 foot into the ACC tournament. You see the standings. That's just the top 16 of 18 Pitt and Miami lost earlier today. Virginia was tied with Stanford. They hopped above the Cardinal for the moment. At 5-9, Stanford will go to Charlottesville and play the Cavaliers a week from today. You see BC right there. So Pitt is kind of the cutoff point. Miami, the last team in terms of the top 15. So the winner today has a very good chance to make that ACC tournament. And I brought it up to Kate Pay. I said, have you thought about the NCAA tournament? She kind of stopped me mid-sentence and goes, no, first of all, we got to make the ACC tournament. And then from there, if you're Stanford, you can dream of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, this is why this is a pivotal matchup for the Cardinals. If they can sweep this home series, will be huge for them taking a step forward to get into the ACC tournament.
Well, it's been a season of change for Stanford. A new head coach for the first time in 36 years. A new conference. They lost their top 3 leading scorers. Tawana Lapola was supposed to be the rock of Stanford as the point guard. Well, she's been hurt all year. She's only played in 5 games. So it has been a challenging season for Kate Pay. Not only just a Stanford undergrad graduate, she has an MBA and a JD from Stanford. 3 different degrees. Both teams start with their starting 5s to start the second half.
So BC back in their zone defense again.
Stevenson, nice spin move, couldn't get it to go.
Nice patience, got the look they wanted, was not able to convert.
Back-to-back double-digit games for Mary Ashley Stevenson. This is her 3rd career start at Stanford. Dimitri the rebound. And then she lost it to Sidbury.
Sidbury did a great job of hanging around. They will keep the possession arrow as well. You see right here, being very aggressive. Dimitri did not see her coming from behind, right there.
And she was part of the 2023 co-Pac-12 champions with Stanford at Utah from Salt Lake City. Scored over 2,500 points in high school, a Utah State record. Played 2 years for the Utes. This is her first year with BC. Sidbury on cue gets fouled by Dimitri. Has 2 free throws here for the Eagles.
I'm sure Coach Mack at halftime made it an emphasis. We have to be aggressive in the offensive glass. We cannot give up second chance opportunities, and we need to get second chance opportunities as well. So far, so good. The hustle play by Sidbury allowed them to have an opportunity to shoot free throws.
Yeah, she's pre-med at Boston College, and basically between basketball and class and studying, most of her days are over 12 hours. BC got to the West Coast on Tuesday. They played Cal on Thursday. Friday they had a little fun. They went to Fisherman's Wharf. Syracuse, between the games at Stanford and Cal, they went to the Rising Stars game at Chase Center. Coach Mack telling us it's been a really fun trip, but you know what would make it really fun? More fun? Winning a game.
Yeah, in particular, the last game on a road trip. I mean, you kind of forget the first one. You always remember the second one. It makes that long plane ride much easier for the Eagles.
Sidbury gets both. 4 points for her. Stanford's lead is 3, a minute in the second half. Stevenson, open 12-footer.
Nice job by Stevenson. That's the second time Stanford has been able to find the crease in the zone, right in that mid post, right in that area, able to convert.
Todd lost it off of Ijuoye out of play. You know, Mary Ashley Stevenson, she goes by MA. And before the game, she was telling me she really appreciated just the amount of confidence her teammates and her coaches have had in her this year. It's been big in terms of her last couple of games in double digits for the first time at Stanford.
I know the Eagles are going to try to get Todd untracked. 17 points per game. She's been held in check so far.
Oh, with 3 from deep for Todd. She's 3 of 3 inside the line. We were talking before the game. She shoots better from 3 than 2. Not tonight. Clardy pushing. Nobody stops ball. Stevenson goes up with contact. Gets it to go.
Nice job by Clardy to keep her chin up. Nice bounce pass to Stevenson on the turnover by Ivy.
Sidbury to the hoop.
Nice quick crossover by Sidbury going left to right. Was able to use the window for the finish.
5-point lead for Stanford. They led by as many as 10 in the first quarter. BC roared back and took the lead in the second. And foul called against Helena Boscana. That's an offensive foul.
The Eagles have done a great job of taking the offensive charge again outside the smiley face with a turnover.
Courtney Ogden back in for the Cardinal. Tess Heel as well. Heel 10 points on 4 of 6 shooting in the first half of play off the bench. 2 times all WCC at Santa Clara, averaged 18, 4, and 4 last year. Different role for Hill. She was one of the top players in the country last year in terms of usage rate.
Yeah, Stanford went to a zone defense.
Ivy off balance 3 short, and Clardy gets the board.
Nice job by the Cardinal. Show a different defense. Again, when you show defense, she's going to take away a possession.
Stanford might play zone 20 times all year, possession-wise, as Daly knocks down a pull-up J.
It's a great job by Daly with the walk-up. Created the turnover. Was patient, got to the free throw line, was able to knock it down.
Senior from Miami, about 10 points a game. Cross-court pass, Heel, wide open, corner 3, short.
Nice job by the Cardinal again in the zone defense. They was able to go to second side, wide open shot, as you mentioned earlier, was not able to convert.
And down the left side, Clardy was called for a foul.
So here's the steal here. Daly did a great job of tracking it, and she's going to reward herself. The walk-up shot right at the free throw line, was able to knock it down.
Jai Harriel's in for the first time for a while for Stanford. She didn't make the trip to Notre Dame and Louisville, did not play against Syracuse, has been dealing with an illness, and it's great to see her back out there for Stanford. She's 44% from deep this year. 2 free throws for Daly. First one is off. 107th game at Boston College. Second, no good for Daly, who's 77% at the line.
I tell you what, when you have missed free throws, that's like a turnover, although it doesn't show up in the stat line.
Not a lot of free throws in this game, just 6 for BC and only 1 for Stanford.
In particular, when you're in a row, Tim, you have to knock those down.
Stevenson, strong, high bank shot. And the rebound to Green.
Yeah, Stanford went to a more triangle offense there, trying to get Stevenson untracked.
But you don't want to leave her open. Todd misses. Stanford got lucky. The #1 shooter in the country misses a wide open 3. But on the other side, Green rattles it in.
Daly did a great job of breaking down the defense, getting inside 2 feet in the painted area, was able to find her teammate.
Now, Green's listed 6'3" and listed as a guard, and she played for the right AAU team for a tall guard, Team Durant in the Maryland area.
Nice rotation defensively. But Dimitri again finds the soft spot in the zone. Short jumper, able to convert.
14 for Brooke Dimitri. Sidbury over Dimitri. Good defense from Brooke, who has 4 blocks.
Yeah, she's playing on both sides of the ball this afternoon.
Hill takes the bump. Dimitri, 3, too strong. And Stevenson couldn't corral the rebound. Daly of Boston College has it. Ivy, this is a wide open back and forth game. Green, back for Ivy. She takes the long 3, rims it in.
And that's a great job of recognition by Green. Was able to get it back out to Ivy for a third 3.
Ivy missed a year with a knee injury. One of the best assist makers in the history of BC. Leads the ACC in assist to turnover ratio for the 2nd straight year. Heel, corner 3! Tess Heel, her 3rd trifecta of the day.
Corner 3, Heel was able to get that 3 ball back.
Stanford retakes the lead.
Both teams are shooting extremely well from behind the arc.
And both over 40%. Daly trying to break down Ogden, couldn't get the roll. Sidbury offensive rebound.
Sidbury's effort has been outstanding, although that turnover there, but you cannot say anything about her effort. Take a look here. There's a 3 ball by Ivy, was able to knock it down for her 3rd 3. Come right back, Heel, right corner pocket, 10 toes, said, I got you. Stanford up by 3.
Well, there's Tara Vanderveer. She did not miss an NCAA tournament since her 2nd year. 1987 was the last time Stanford missed an NCAA tournament. His 36 consecutive appearances. Only Tennessee has a longer streak in the NCAA. Tara Vanderveer, born in Boston, Massachusetts, here watching the BC Eagles and the Stanford Cardinal. It has been a wild back and forth game. Stanford has a 3-point lead.
Yeah, both teams understand the importance of this game. This game gets you one step closer to the ACC tournament.
Stanford 47 in the net rating. Boston College 73. The team's hovering around 500. This is really uncharted territory for the Cardinal. Boscana. Heel. Right hand dribble. Out for Boscana. 7 on the shot clock. Gets a screen from Ume. Elena to the hoop. Lefty bank shot. Gets it to go again. Boscana going to that left hand.
Yeah, Boscana again showing her patience, senior leadership, did not panic, was able to get to her strong hand, go right to left, use the window for the finish.
Coming off of a double-double. 13, 4, and 3 thus far for Boscana. Harriel called for a foul. 4th against Stanford.
Take a look right here. Boscana again not panicking, getting downhill. Strong hand, using the glass for the finish.
Final 3:56 of this quarter. BC's in the bonus. Nobody picked up Green. Misses that. Got a play. Last off of Stanford.
That's extremely important. If I'm Coach Mack, I'm reminding my team, let's try to get downhill and get some baskets from the free throw line without the clock running.
Coach Mack made the NCAAs at Boston College as well as Albany. And I think when Injai was trying to inbound it, I think she stepped over the line. That's an unforced error against BC and kind of a free turnover for the Cardinal.
Yeah, those type of turnovers you can't have. Those mental mistakes. You can deal with the physical mistakes. The mental mistakes is something you have to keep very limited.
Party. Straight in the offense. Ume. Backdoor cut. All alone. Brooke Dimitri.
You had a situation there that they're running their 1-1-3 matchup zone, but no one dropped to the weak side help to help the helper. I'm sure Coach Mack is going to get their starting 5 back in the game. You can't have those type of mistakes.
7 for 10 in this one for Brooke. 16 points. Tomlinson. See how she got the nickname from Kobe. Shifty lefty. Green. Long 3. Big time response from BC as they cut it to 4. Heel, try to bounce pass. It's kicked away by the sophomore from Senegal, Injai, who went to Orangewood Academy in Southern California.
So we talked about the back door play, the 1-1-3. There was no help on the weak side, so easy basket.
Brooke Dimitri, she's got flames coming out of her hand. Field tried to bounce it down low. Good idea by Samuel to kick it.
Yeah, that's something you coach. You tell your team, listen, if you can't get it, kick it. Force them to take the ball out of bounds. They have to reset their offense.
That would have been a wide open layup for Ume. Fresh 20 for the Cardinal. Stanford led by 10 in the first quarter. Clardy on the backdoor cut.
So consecutive backdoor cuts for Stanford, able to convert.
Todd wide open, another missed 3.
Definitely need Todd to get untracked. 17 points a game, one of the top scorers in the ACC.
The number 1 3-point shooter in the country is 0 for 5 from deep, but players like Sidbury have kept BC in it. They're down by 4 now.
Stanford does a great job of recognizing nice high-low pass from Dimitri to the freshman.
And you got to reward that big Kennedy Ume for running the floor.
Yeah, Ume was able to get it work early, Tim, and that allowed the pass from Dimitri to go inside, uncontested layup.
Samuel, she's been hot from deep. Rims out.
BC has to be careful here, and Stanford can extend their lead.
Stanford's made their last 5 shots. Heel, cross-court pass. Boscana was fouled. So 3 free throws here Stanford's only had one free throw the entire night. They'll get 3 here from Boscana.
And the closeout was late. You can see here, late closeout. Easy call for the official. 3 free throws.
They got Green for her third. First team foul of the third. 1:43 remaining before the final quarter. 6-point lead for Stanford. Anna Boscana with 13, 4 and 4. She had a game against Florida State this year where she went just totally off. As first free throw for the player from Greece rims out. Boscana, that was the biggest win for Stanford so far this year against Florida State, top 25 team. And in that game, she had 21, 15, and 6.
She's been huge this afternoon. Facing Stanford with 14 points. Hill, the second scorer. Actually, Dimitri leading the team and scoring with 16. 7-10 field goal, 2 from 3 from behind the arc. 6 rebounds and 4 blocks as well.
8-point lead for Stanford. It's their biggest lead since the first quarter. Todd. Foul underneath. That'll be free throws for Wagner.
Nice job by Wagner doing her work early. To get Stevenson on the foul. Now can the Eagles take advantage?
Now Wagner, first year at NC State. This is her 4th year with BC. Set a BC record with 99 steals last year. First free throw is good. Speaking of NC State, they were a 2 seed in the bracket reveal this morning. Notre Dame, a number 1 seed in terms of the top 2 teams in the ACC.
So look now for the Eagles to some full court press.
Now Coach Mack, she's got a little bit of everything up her sleeve defensively. Seen zone, trapping, different types of zone, player-on-player defense, and now the first time a press.
It's a nice job by Stanford to recognize, was able to break the press.
Great defense. Sid Barrow using the 6-1 frame to steal it away. Goes right at heel. Good defense from the Australian, and Stanford gets the ball back with a minute left in the third.
Yeah, Hill was able to hold her ground. The apparent turnover that was not able to score.
Stevenson has 4 assists tonight. Coaches rave about her passing out of that pinch post. Kind of trying to set up some teammates. Dimitri fadeaway to beat the clock. And Tomlinson, the smallest player on the floor with the board.
So that was a combination of great defense and bad offense for the Cardinals.
It's virtually even in terms of the shot clock and the game clock. So this should be the last shot of the quarter. Stanford leads by 6. You hear Maples Pavilion come alive. Todd working on Dimitri. Todd with 2 on the timer, throws it up. At the buzzer, Samuel couldn't get it to roll in. Well, Stanford holding on for dear life, looking to sweep the weekend. A 6-point lead for the Cardinal as we head to the 4th. BC and Stanford, Final 10 coming up next.
So we talk about why Stanford is winning the game. It's these little plays here. As you see, Samuels follows the man through heel. So what happens, there's no communication. She should have passed her off. Here's the pass to the pinch post. There's a wide open layup there. Now we come right back. Dimitri scored on the back door, but here we go. Now she does a great job of finding Ume. Easy pass. Ume did a job early, was able to finish. Nice job by Stanford to take the lead.
6-point lead for the Cardinals who start the 4th. Stanford has 16 assists. Dr. Wallace says it's thrown away here and all the way down. Wagner, lefty layup's good. But real quick, just 4 of those 16 assists for Stanford are from guards. The forwards and centers have been passing it really well.
Usually in this type of offense, that's what you see. If you take a look at the Warriors, they run a similar offense. Draymond Green typically is the one that's leading the team in assists. It's all about the pinch posts. It's all about your 4s and 5s. Are they able to pass? Are they able to dribble?
Stevenson with 4 assists. Boscana 4. Those are the leaders for Stanford. 4-point lead for the Cardinal. Dimitri, extra pass on cue. Can Heel give her an assist? No. BC looking to push again, and it's thrown up and banked in. The all-defensive member in the ACC, Wagner.
Wagner again, couple layups, but Stevenson comes right back. They would push the tempo, advance pass, does not allow the Eagles to set their defense.
Ask these Stanford coaches about Mary Ashley Stevenson. They eyes light up and say, we love her. It's all effort all the time. Ooh, they're going to give a flop warning there, maybe. They gave the flop signal, but they're going to call a foul against Clardy.
There's the advance pass to Stevenson. Was able to get ahead, to play ahead, and their liquidity with the basketball with Samuels, the flop call on the floor. But you love a point guard that plays with her chin up for the advance pass.
Stanford has led for 23 of the 30 minutes thus far. Long off-balance twos, no good. Dimitri, her 8th rebound, closing in on a double-double.
She's been huge this afternoon, rebounding the basketball, block shots, shooting the ball from behind the arc as well as inside.
And she was the number 11 recruit in the country, but only started a couple of games her first 3 years because of all the talent on the Stanford team. She just stepped up her senior year as Boscana throws it away. That was deflected.
Boscana saying, I don't make those type of passes, Tim. The ball was deflected.
And a lot of personality. Clardy into the corner for Heel. 3, got it! Tess Heel with her 4th triple of the game. She's got a Stanford high 16.
Clardy was able to get downhill, a paint touch, and find Heel in the corner.
Wagner steps into it, deflected away. Heel with the rebounds, and then she was fouled in the backcourts. Not a bad foul there. Stanford had numbers.
I would agree with that. You don't want to have layups. So you'd rather have the foul, force them to take the ball out of bounds into the 94 feet, allows you to set your defense.
Dr. Walsh, you're very familiar with the professional game. I'd like to see the transition take foul.
I would as well. I mean, there's a lot of things that they can bring to the college game as well. Don't get me started on the men's side.
Hey, can we get to quarters already for men's college basketball?
Please, don't get me started.
Dimitri off balance, no good. Stevenson a hustle play, out to Heel, 3, good! Stanford leads by 10.
Second chance opportunities, we talked about it. Stanford ability, get the offensive rebound. We talked about it earlier. Boston College is last in the conference in terms of rebounding. Second chance opportunities, there's Heel lining it up, knocks down the 3 ball.
And defensive rebounding is an adventure for BC. It's a quick 8-0 run for Stanford in 100 seconds.
And that's the energy that we spoke about. Now, BC will pick up full court, try to get a turnover in the backcourt area. Stanford last time was able to break it with ease. You have to get the ball in the middle of the floor right there. Stevenson came right up, was able to get it. Now the press has been broken. You can run your offense.
By the way, Wagner, that was her 3rd personal, 2nd team foul, 3 minutes into the final quarter. Ogden explodes to the lane, leaves it off. Stevenson, power move, and she's going to be called for an offensive foul.
I tell you what, you have to tip your hat to the Eagles. They've taken a lot of offensive foul calls this afternoon. Here's another one as well. You see the left hand extend just a tad.
Mary Ashley is born in South Carolina. She spent a bit of time in the Bay Area. Her dad, Gary Stevenson, started the Pac-12 networks. Then she went to high school in New York City. She was telling me how much fun it was getting to ride the subway around the city when she was in high school. Different experience she had. Sidbury just loses out of play.
A great job by Dimitri. Her presence down low caused that turnover.
It's danger time right here for BC. Stanford has a 10-point lead. This equals their largest of the game. Ogden, pull up, jumper, too strong. Sidbury was not fouled, but it was, I think that's one of those NBA calls. I think it's either a foul or ball to BC out of play.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
What did you say? You would agree with me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, definitely. Coach Pay doesn't agree with that. The look on her face says it all.
I was happy somebody agreed with me on the air for once. Samuel against Heel. And Tess Heel kind of maybe nudged her out of play. And will get called for the foul.
So Stanford now went to their zone defense, up by 10. The numbers are in their favor. In particular, as Todd is not able to get on track, but she's not even in the game at this point.
Second on Heel, third on Stanford. Sidbury looking to attack. Here's Ivy, step back, long three, swishes it through.
Yeah, Ivy's been spot on with her fourth three.
She averages more assists, 5.2 than points at 4.6, but they've needed her to score tonight. She's got 14. Stevenson and Sidbury got tied up. The Stanford fans thought it was a foul.
It's a nice job by Sidbury to work around Stevenson to get the steal.
Stanford gets the stop, up by 7. That was a big stop there, Coach. You kind of felt BC get some momentum all the way. No one stops Heel. She floats it down.
The Daly trying to tip it from behind. Heel did a great job of keeping herself between the man and the ball.
21 for Heel, her second most this year. She had 24 against Wake. Hardy tips it away. Heel, 1-on-2, spins out of it, and is fouled on the floor by Samuel.
Yeah, Heel did a great job with the steal, and here it is right here. It's a nice job. There's a 3-ball by Ivy. And here's Heel. Nice quick crossover. There's to try to get it from behind. She was able to finish with the floater in the front of the rim.
BC's 9 of 21 from deep, 43%. And Tiana Todd, the nation's leading three-point shooters, 0 for 6. So other than Todd, they're 9 for 15 from beyond the arc.
Stanford did a great job of identifying and not allowing Todd to get untracked.
Ivy knocks down another 3. It's a career-high 5-3. She had never made 4 in a game, and this is game number 109 for her.
Imagine where they will be without Ivy in this game so far. 14 points.
A 5 of 6 from beyond the arc. A 30% three-point shooter.
So she's basically making up for Todd not being able to get untracked.
Jump ball called. Ivy forcing the turnover.
She's playing on both sides of the basket as well. Get the steal, the turnover. Boston College will take it, but they're down by 6 going into the final 4 minutes. Stanford up, 71-65.
Here at Tara Vanderveer Court, Maples Pavilion. Stanford has been much better than on the road. They're up by 6 over BC down the stretch. For the Cardinal, it's just 1 win on the road. They won at last placed Wake Forest, and they only won by 2. There have been some tough ones on the road. They lost by in overtime at number 5 LSU. They lost in overtime against Clemson. They're 11-3 at home, and this team has just been much better at home this year.
Yeah, teams usually shoot better at home. They understand the rims. They practice in the gym throughout the season. The trick is, how do you play on the road? And you can see the same with Boston College. Their record away from home isn't good as well.
Yeah, Stanford has one final ACC road trip a week from today. It'll be Virginia, and then before that, it'll be a Thursday game at Virginia Tech. But for the Cardinal, all focus on this afternoon and making the ACC tournament. I think they're looking at the clock real quick. And the referees are going to talk with the table for a moment here. I think they're talking about maybe not the clock, but the possession arrow, which is to Boston College after that tie-up. And you see Tess Heel, 21 points on 8 of 12 shooting. Been a game best for you fellow stat nerds out there. Plus 13 in the plus minus as well off the bench. Tim Swartz, Dr. Joaquin Wallace. Final stanza here from Maples Pavilion. A giant game in the ACC.
Ivy has been playing outstanding, knocking down the long ball, creating that turnover as well, that jump ball opportunity.
Sidbury. A mismatch, and ooh, she got bailed out there.
Yes, Sidbury had a mouse in the house, a little Tom and Jerry action. She decided to kick it back out right here. If she goes up over her left shoulder, she may get a and one.
Yeah, Ijiwoye did hit the arm of Sidbury, and she got rid of that ball. That was a good call. Our officiating crew. That's the 4th foul against Stanford in the quarter. It is free throws from here on out for the Eagles. Lefty shot's good for Sidbury. It's a 4-point game.
Sidbury does a great job. Grab, dribbling to the middle of the floor, jump hook over her right shoulder.
BC has not led since the start of the 2nd quarter. Dimitri, 3-ball, corner pockets. 19 for Brooke Dimitri, and Stanford leads by 7.
So the Eagles tried to trap the basketball. Stanford did a great job of getting it to the second side where Dimitri was lined up, waited patiently, was able to knock down the 3-ball.
Oh, look, Ijiwoye get up to tip that rebound to Clardy. 3.5 minutes left. Every possession big from here on out. Pick and roll with Dimitri. Stanford can be patient here. That's not what the Cardinal needs. Stevenson, where did she come from to get the ball? Sidbury ties her up, and Stanford's lucky they still have the ball late in the shot clock.
Yeah, that pass was headed out of bounds, as you mentioned earlier. Stevenson recognized it, was able to save it before it got out of bounds.
And she is the player that Stanford relies on to make the hustle plays, making her 3rd start on the farm. Stanford hasn't used much of Nunu Aguirre tonight. Heel, lefty shot, no good. Offensive rebound, fresh 20. She's tied up by Ivy. Nunu Aguirre really hasn't played an entire game since 2 weeks ago against Pitt. She has not scored in 7 minutes. But BC's got no threes from Todd. Kind of the 2 stars of this game we were expecting coming in haven't scored, and still, it's a tight one.
Yeah, 7 points down, EC.
Todd for her 6th 3. Yes, sir!
Stanford has to recognize and turn off the water for Ivy.
And Ivy, pardon me, has knocked down a career-high 6. That doubles her career high. And again, this is over 100 games at BC for her. Clardy tried to save it. She couldn't. It's a 4-point game with 2.5 left.
Yeah, Ivy's been a one-woman wrecking crew tonight, picking up where Todd usually steps up right here. Screen and roll, confusion. Knocked it down. Stanford did not recognize. Ivy said, I'm going to make you pay every time you go under the screen.
And Ivy didn't score against Cal. She's got a season-high 20, and they're going to call a hold against Brooke Dimitri, and BC gets free throws.
So the threat of Ivy coming off that ball screen, Dimitri held. Stanford has to figure out how they're going to guard that. Are they going to jump it? Or are they going to trap it to get it out of her hands? So far, they have not figured out how to deal with Ivy. 20 points, 1 point behind the leading scorer of the game, Heel. 6 or 7 behind the arc.
They got Dimitri there, that's her 2nd. Here's Sidbury at the line, 87% free throw shooter. And she's now 3 for 3 tonight.
So if you're BC, this is what you want. You want to be able to score while the clock is not moving.
2nd is down.
So they're going to extend the defense. 1-1-3. I would not trap in this situation here because Stanford has been able to find the holes. Let's play solid 1-1-3 defense. Make sure you communicate.
Blocking foul. That's a big 50-50 call that goes the way of Stanford. And Dimitri gets to the line.
Wagner may have got their step too late. We'll take a look here. Yeah, she was moving as Dimitri was heading to the basket. So nice play by Dimitri to touch of the vacated area. Wagner was just a tad late.
That's 4 on Wagner. Both teams in the bonus. Brooke Dimitri, 2 monster free throws for the senior from Southern California. Makes the first.
And that's her first one. Step to the line. She's been huge.
Gets the roll. 21 for Dimitri.
And she's done everything with blocks as well. 5 blocks. 21 points.
Stanford's need all 21 of them. They're up by 4, 2:10 left.
Plenty of time remaining for the Eagles.
And Boston College has all 4 timeouts. Remember, in women's basketball, you can advance it. Wagner, the grad student. That one was deflected out of play. Good defense from Stanford. She's already got a BA in communications. Hails from Nashville.
So Tim Wagner had an opportunity as she drove to the painted area. Had a nice little mid-range shot. She decided to kick it out to the 3. I would have liked her to take the shot and take your chances.
Ivy down for Sidbury, who's double teamed. 5 on the shot clock. Ivy against Ijewoye. Ivy steps through, and that's a shot clock violation.
So again, that's the second possession when Wagner had the basketball and decided to pass it out. A shot needs to be taken when it's created for you. You do not want to have empty possessions at this point in the game.
BC led 21-20 at the end of 1. Stanford's led by at least 4 the entire second half. Dimitri, off-balance shot, no good. Stevenson and Wagner, and that's a huge call. That's 5 on Wagner.
So Wagner will foul out of the game. From Coach Mack, we're looking at film. I'm going to show Wagner you had opportunities to take the open shot. You have to be confident in that situation. Take the shot, we may get the offensive rebound.
Mary Ashley Stevenson, 2 free throws. She's played 31 minutes tonight.
They needed all 31.
First free throw is off for Stevenson. 70% free throw shooter. Stanford has only taken 7 free throws in the game.
That still allows the door to be just ajar for the Eagles.
Stevenson splits the 2. He's got 7 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. Timeout, BC. 77-72. Stanford leads Boston College. Do not go anywhere. Final 122 from the Bay Area. Coming up after this on ACC Network. Just 3 games left in the ACC for BC. They'll play SMU, Virginia Tech at the Conte Forum, and then they'll finish up at the Dome against Syracuse. BC beat the Orange by 41 earlier on this year. For Stanford, they have 4 games left. They'll go to the Virginia schools next weekend. A huge game with Virginia Tech and Virginia, and then they'll close with Miami, and then one of the surprises of the ACC, Georgia Tech, before both teams hope to go to Greensboro for the ACC tournament. The top 15 teams make the ACC tournament, and whoever wins this game is in very good position to make the ACC tournament.
I tell you what, if I'm Coach Mack, I'm running some sort of 2-man game between Ivy and Ty.
Five-point lead for Stanford. Ivy, a season-high 20, a career-high 6 threes. Down for Sidbury, blocked again by Dimitri. No, foul called against Brooke Dimitri. And you see Brooke's face, she cannot believe it.
Yeah, initially it looked like a clean block right here. Let's take a look. Right here. Yeah, that looked like a clean block, maybe on the lower half, possibly, or just the fall itself. The official called the foul, but nonetheless, 2 free throw opportunities for Sidbury.
Sidbury, well, I was about to say she's pretty much automatic at the line at 87%, and she misses the first.
I always talk about 3 areas: layups, putbacks, and free throws can change the game.
Second free throw in. 4-point lead for Stanford. Cardinal can take it to about the 40-second mark if they want to here.
The 2-possession lead for the Cardinal. That's why that free throw was missed by Sidbury.
Under a minute left. Clardy with 7 on the shot clock. Drives to the lane, banks it, too strong. Rebound loose, and we'll get a jump ball. It stays with Stanford.
So Stanford able to get the loose ball, the jump ball opportunity.
There's a 24-second difference between shot and game clock. You think it's too early to start fouling here?
I believe at this point they may have to foul in this situation here. Because now you're talking about possessions.
You don't want to foul Hill. She's over 90% at the free throw line.
And I'm sure that's something they talked about in the scout. Now you just have to play it straight up. Stanford goes to a Horns offense.
Screen from Stevenson. Heel turns the corner with 4 seconds. Swings it. Boscana, the bomb. And that did not hit the rim. So it's a shot clock violation. BC has 3 timeouts left. They're going to use 1 right here to advance. Well, if you're Stanford, you don't score in that possession, Dr. Wallace, but you kill about 45 seconds.
So at this point, you're down by 4. Speaking of BC, they have an opportunity. If Coach Mack decides to try to get to the rim to score quickly, they'll be playing the foul game. If you shoot the 3 and make it, you still will have to foul. So I like to see what she draws up at this point. Again, I would try to do something between Todd and Ivy. Little 2-man game. Ivy's been on fire from behind the arc, and you may have to rely on Todd to get on track to knock down her first 3 of the night. If you're able to do that, place the pressure on the Cardinal. We'll see how the Cardinal plays it.
23.4 seconds left. Arrow is to BC. 4-point lead for Stanford. 3 timeouts left for the Cardinal. 2 for BC. No fouls to give on either side.
You know, Tim, in this situation, what I love to do, I used to come out in a zone defense just to take some clock away, because you practice against a man-to-man. The 3 ball doesn't hurt us. Samuel
behind the back. Terminates. Needs some help. Lefty hook shot. No good. Cardi with the rebound. She's fouled with 16 seconds left.
The point blank look by Samuel was not able to score, so Coach Mack was going for the quick 2. She got the matchup and look she wanted. Samuels was just not able to convert.
And Chloe Clardy, 2 monster free throws here. Stanford up by 4. 16 seconds left. First is down for Clardy, 82% free throw shooter. She's been in double figures in 5 of her last 6. It is at 9 for the moment. She'll get to double figures again. She cannot. BC uses a timeout, 15.7 seconds left. So if you collect a rebound and you don't put it on the floor, you can advance it. The second you put it on the floor, you can't advance it. So BC down by 5. By the way, one real quick thing. Dontavia Wagner, I said she committed her 5th foul. The stats were incorrect. It was actually her 4th foul. So Wagner just came off the bench, and she'll check back in for BC.
So the Eagles need to do something quick. I'd imagine they're going to draw up some sort of 3-point play, probably some sort of elevator series for either Todd or Ivy. They go for the quick 3, look for the quick steal. They can't get it, foul. In this situation here too, Tim, you don't want to run a screen roll, because if I'm Stanford, I'm trapping the ball screen. So one-on-one action, an elevator series. They're going to run a little box set, a cross screen action.
Wagner, Sidbury pump fake. Todd splits the defenders, goes up, easy layups in. 7.8 seconds left. Timeout Stanford.
It's a great timeout by Stanford, anticipating the trap in the backcourt. So the Lions ran a little cross screen action and some fade action for Todd. You take a look right here. She was able to switch hands to get the layup. They were setting up for the 1-3-1, or the 1-2-1-1 half-court trap.
The big number on that possession for me, Dr. Wallace, 8.2. That took 8.2 seconds off the clock. So Stanford has a 1-possession lead. Boston College still has an advance, but to go from 16 seconds to 7.8 seconds, that's a good amount of time that the Cardinal were able to kind of kill on that possession.
Absolutely. I mean, it had to be something quick to the rim. Ran some, like I said, some fade action for Todd. She was able to split the double and get to downhill for the layup. But again, it took some time off the clock. So Stanford understands the most important pass in this situation is the first pass. So imagine some ball pressure on the inbounder. And if you don't get the steal, immediately you have to foul.
And I'm sure maybe the final message from Kate Pay to Brooke Dimitri, who's about to inbound it. Stanford has 2 timeouts left.
You have 2 timeouts remaining, so you don't have to panic in this situation. You don't want to throw the ball in the backcourt.
It's a Boscana. Oh, the Wagoneer right in front of us. Got the ball pretty quickly, and that's 5 on Wagoner.
I like to see that again. Looks like Wagoner got all ball. But that's a play where the officials are just going to call a foul because they understand that the Eagles are going to foul. But sometimes, Tim, that's not the right call. I like to see that again on replay. The call is made. You take a look right here. Ball goes in. I don't know. I think that was an actual steal.
And Stanford might have gotten lucky. That is the 5th foul on Wagoner, but Boscana misses the first.
So if Boscana does not deliver, as they say, ball don't lie in this situation here.
This is a giant free throw. 7.2 seconds left. It's off. BC gets the rebound. They call timeout. A chance to tie with 6.9 seconds left for Boston College. Boscana misses them both.
So in that situation there, it worked out well because not only that the 2 free throws were missed, as I said earlier, anytime you miss 2 free throws, that's like a turnover. But now they get the advance to basketball. You see excitement when Wagoner saying, I knew I didn't foul. Ball don't lie. Opportunity now for the Eagles to tie it.
And Tiana Todd, 0 for 6 from beyond the arc, over 50% from deep. She's an option. The surprising option is Kayla Ivey. She came into this game 30% from deep. She had never made 4 threes in 109 games at BC. She's made 6 tonight. Those are maybe the 2 main options for BC.
Absolutely, and Stanford has to recognize that as well. So you're telling Stanford we're going to switch all screens, give up the 2, but not the 3. So it's 2 players that you have to identify. Todd and Ivey. Depends on who's going to take the ball out.
Real quick, 6.9 seconds left. Would you foul here if you're Stanford?
Once I'm beat off the dribble, then I foul. Once I'm beat off the dribble, then I foul. I do not allow the 3 to go up.
And it's the age-old question. You're up by 3. The other team has the ball under 10 seconds left. Do you foul? Do you not foul?
There's still a lot of time remaining, but I'm telling my team, Stanford, if I get beat off the dribble, then I foul. A solid defense. It gets down to around 2 to 3 seconds, then you may foul at that point.
Ivy, the inbounder, bounces it in for Green. Back for Ivy. Ball is loose, out of play, last off of the leg of Dimitri, but they'll look at this with 3.2 seconds left.
Yeah, Stanford may get this. This was just a congested area on the floor. You never throw the ball into the corner. Again, we talked about the 12 areas on the floor to trap.
I thought, looking at it,
I thought it may have went off of Ivy's foot.
Me too. I think it hit off of Dimitri, then Ivy. But we'll get a look at it.
Right here. So there is, if she catches the basketball, Tim, she can't do nothing with it anyway. So right there, it's off of her foot. So Stanford should get the possession right here.
This will be a better look right here. Maybe. Green's in our way. See, look at the bottom of the screen. Look at the left foot of Ivy.
Actually went off her knee.
Yeah. And I think Brooke Dimitri did not touch it. And as of now, so it's important to note, the call on the floor is Boston College ball because we need indisputable evidence to turn it over. To turn over the call, pardon me.
Tim, I think we're going to get that because it went off the knee of Ivy. You see right here, ball redirected right there. See how the ball redirected?
Right there.
The rotation of the ball changed as well.
And it's off the left knee of Ivy, and she kicks her foot forward. And you kind of feel for Kayla Ivy. She's done nothing wrong tonight. 7 for 8 shooting, 20 points on 8 shots with no free throws. But might have just hit off of her leg. Stanford has 2 timeouts left, so if you're the Cardinal, if you do get the ball here, you probably call a timeout and advance it.
Advance the basketball, and you tell your team, do not throw it back court. Catch it in the front court because they have to foul. You don't want to turn over, live ball turnover into a layup.
So they'll do the dance. Infinity Robinson looked at it with Tyler Trimble. Now she'll look at it with Jeff Wooten. Big call here at Tara Vanderveer Courts.
Yeah, I believe that it's going to be a turnover on Ivy off of her left knee. Stanford should get the possession. You're going to call timeout, advance the basketball, and again, you tell your team, do not throw the ball back court. We want the action going towards our basket.
Massive call. Here we go. Infinity Robinson. I think she wants to get her whistle, and normally that means it's going the other way, and it is going to Stanford. Stanford calls a timeout. They'll have 1 left, 3.2 seconds left. Cardinal up by 3. I mean, both these teams desperately need this game to make the ACC tournament, and for their postseason beyond that, hopes as well. And both teams have really given their all there. We haven't had a bigger than a 10-point lead yet.
Yeah, both teams have played well, have played hard. It was kind of like a rock fight earlier, but they was able to get some offense on the floor. 78-75. Stanford defensively was able to come through with the last play of the game. The Eagles got caught in a situation with a pass trying to get to Ivy on the baseline, and the play was doomed from the beginning.
Dimitri needs to inbound it, gets it to Heel. She's fouled with there was 2 seconds left when the whistle came. And I think they're going to review this because the clock shows 1.1, but there was more than that left. Coach Mack is asking for a review because it just does matter in terms of a couple tenths of seconds.
It's great play design by Coach Pay. Again, you do not want the ball to go into the backcourt because anything can happen. I'm sure she told her team, we need to have the basketball going towards our basket.
Now Tess Hill standing at the free throw line. You might want Kate Pay and the bench might say, hey, take a little walk because they're going to review how much time is left on the clock. Again, to the naked eye, I thought 1.8 to 2 seconds left.
Well, if she makes this free throw, she's thinking ahead in the game. She can actually miss the second one, and the game will be over.
The clock has been reset to 2.5.
2.5 is what they'll reset the clock to. Tess Hill, about a 90% free throw shooter. He has 21 tonight. It's the co-leader with Dimitri for the moment in this game. First free throws taken by Hill. Stanford 7 of 12 at the free throw line. Now they're having some issues putting the clock. It says, no, there's not 25 seconds, it's 2.5. And so some of the fans are laughing. You saw Kate Pay, she's not laughing. They put that 2.5 on, let Tess shoot.
Yeah, this game, you're not going to laugh as a coach. You want the right time because anything can happen.
First free throw's big, and it's in. 4-point lead for Stanford. 2-possession lead for Stanford. Second free throw is in as well. And that'll do it. Stanford outlasts Boston College 80-75. The Cardinal back over 500. They're 13-12, and it's a weekend sweep for the first time in the ACC for the Stanford Cardinal. It took a few weekends, but the Cardinal winners over Syracuse on Thursday, Boston College on Sunday. The Eagles fall to 4-11 in league, 13-15 overall. And Dr. Wallace, Stanford hasn't been in this position in 36 years in terms of fighting for a spot in the NCAA tournament, fighting to make the conference tournament. But today was a big win for the Cardinal.
Yeah, you have to take advantage of the games at home, and they was able to do that. Their record is much better at home. Dimitri was huge, allowed Stanford to get this victory.
Yeah, Brooke Dimitri was huge for Stanford as the Cardinal make it 2 in a row. It's their first back-to-back wins in the ACC. And wins have not been easy to come by for the Cardinal, but they're able to outlast the Boston College Eagles, who, it was a 10-point game, and in the first quarter, for a moment, it looked like Stanford might run away with this one. That was not the case, as the Cardinal were victorious in a tight one, 80-75 over BC.
Well, I'm sure when you go into the scouting report, Coach Pace said we are not going to allow Todd to get to us and beat us tonight. She was 0 for 6 from behind the arc. She averaged 17 points a game, so Stanford did a great job of identifying her and taking her out of the game and basically saying someone else will have to beat us. Ivy tried. She had
all right,
points.
So we got Brooke Dimitri here with us at the table. Brooke, I know one of your good friends, Cameron Brink, she had to be smiling watching this game. You got 5 blocks tonight. What was it like playing defense?
I was trying to be like her. I don't know. Kate challenged me after the Cal game home this season. Didn't have my best game defensively, and she really challenged me to pick up that part of my game, and so I took it really personal. And since then, I'm not the most athletic, quickest, can't jump the highest, but I like to think of myself as a smart player, so just trying to like time people's shots and doing what I can for our team defensively, being in the right spots at the right time. So a lot of hard work that we put into practice, so it's just translating onto the floor. Yeah.
You know, I've watched you for the last couple of years, and I was watching the game, a nationally televised game, and they was applauding your one-legged Dirk Nowitzki shot. and I said to myself, watching the game, this is something she's been doing.
Yeah.
And I was new to them. Oh, the Nowitzki shot. And I said, no, this is part of her tools in her toolbox.
Yeah.
What brought that on? Because it's a great shot inside the three-point area. What prompted you for that shot?
I've been working on it probably since like middle school, a lot in high school. Got a little bit away from it earlier in my college career, kind of slowly come back as now I'm one of our bigger players on the floor, and I'm not necessarily your like battling down low post player. I'm a little bit more finesse, and that shot has been part of my repertoire. But honestly, I think it's just so hard to guard with the high release on the fadeaway. So if anybody can master it, it's just such a hard shot to guard. Even when I guard people who had that shot, like it's almost impossible to get.
Yeah, I love the shot. I think it's a great shot. Continue to use it.
Thank you.
And we'll finish it up with this sweeping an ACC weekend. How good does that feel?
It feels great. We've been working really hard. Right now we're competing, to go to the ACC tournament, and that's been a big goal of ours. And we've been putting in a lot of hard work and practice. So it feels great to come off 2 wins. We've been needing that.
Okay, congrats, Brooke.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
That was our player of the game, Brooke Dimitri, who is going to get some high fives and sign a couple autographs. Stanford victorious 80-75. What stood out to you about this game, Coach Wallace?
Well, we talked about their ability to score and second chance opportunities. They was able to do that as well. But Dimitri was huge. I mean, you're talking about 5 blocks, 21 points, 2 rebounds away from a double-double, 8 for 14 from the floor, 3 for 4 from behind the arc, and guess what? 2 for 2 from the free throw line. She was able to score at 4 levels, which was the reason why Stanford was victorious tonight. 5
blocks from Brooke, big as well. Stanford shoots 53%, and they hauled off the Boston College Eagles 80-75. That does it here from Maple Pavilion. For Dr. Joaquin Wallace, for our entire ACC Network crew, my name is Tim Swartz. Thanks for joining us.